I'm waiting for my video to start here. It says you're live now. That's always a comfort to know. Well, welcome to Friday's show. Uh, if you're following the news and everything, it's very it's full of disturbing stories and such. And one of them that particularly is disturbing is the concerns schools and schools teachers and what can and cannot be taught or discussed in classrooms. And I know for many teachers, this is going to be a challenging time. And quite a few may even decide to leave the profession in the months and years to come here. But I would discourage you from doing that. Teachers are so incredibly important. And my son's a teacher. I'm not officially a teacher. I don't have any academic degrees or licenses or anything like that. My son does. He's a few of my dear friends from school days have gone on to become teachers themselves, and I still consider them among my favorite and most respected friends. A couple of them watch me on Facebook even, and I know that they're upset about restrictions on what used to be a classical education. So keeping that in mind, many years ago, okay, I published it in something in 2011, but the letter I'm responding to was much earlier than that, and it was came indirectly from the child of a Monday Night Magic class attendee. I believe it was in the fifth grade, and it was a history project. And they wanted to know, actually, here's the letter. My name is so-and-so. They're probably in their late 20s or 30s by now. And I'm doing a History Day project at my school about Aleister Crowley. I guess they could choose somebody. And if their parents were magicians or interested in Aleister Crowley, that it would definitely sound like a cool thing, So, okay. If you could please answer the following questions for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And there was a list of questions. Thank you very much. Now, if you're in the if you're a teacher and are in this predicament and would like to know how I handled that, maybe you'll want to save this video and have a few ideas of your own from it. What do you consider Aleister Crowley's legacy for modern culture? Okay, here's my answer. Crowley's legacy for modern culture would be impossible to itemize and even less possible to prove. But let's look at it this way. Did the Beatles change the consciousness of Western civilization in the 1960s? Did the revolution in human thought that characterized that period in history profoundly affect the music, art, fashion, movies, food, literature, philosophy, science, religion, and politics of today? Unless you've been living in a state of complete denial or a coma or a cave, the answer is yes. Crowley's life, works, and philosophies influenced not only John Lennon of the Beatles, Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, and David Bowie. So you can tell this was quite a few years ago, because that was the pool of celebrity rock stars I had to draw on then. Today I would have probably added a few more. Okay. People like Alan Moore. Okay. They also influenced scores of other cultural icons, such as the visionary writers Ray Bradbury, who was a friend of Grady McMurtry, okay, Arthur C. Clarke, William Burroughs, and Robert Heinlein, and the filmmakers Orson Welles, Kenneth Anger, and George Lucas. And let's not forget rocket scientist Jack Parsons, founder of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the predecessor of NASA, and the inventor of jet-powered takeoff. Parsons was a space pioneer who is honored with a crater on the moon named after him. He was also a personal student of Aleister Crowley. This is only part of Crowley's legacy for modern culture. Crowley's ideas changed people. These people changed and are continuing to change the world. That's how I answered that question. 2, what are the 3 most important aspects of his legacy? And please don't think that I don't know that there's any number of wonderful authors and scholars that could have answered all of these questions much better than I. And I would have probably answered them a bit differently, probably a bit shorter, if these questions were put to me today. But this is way back in the early 2000s. What are the 3 most important aspects of his legacy? 1, his revolutionary spiritual view that the true will of each individual is the same thing that in the past has been labeled the will of God. 2, his ethical view that discovering and then doing one's true will is the only way to truly gain enlightenment and advance human consciousness and evolution. 3, his philosophy that says, in essence, that no one can define truth for another person. 3, of all of Aleister Crowley's works, which ones do you think has had the most influence today? My answer is the Book of the Law, Liber Alvel Legis, a book that Crowley channeled in 1904 in Cairo, which forms the basis of his work. It's a very strange little book, okay? One might think at first reading that it makes little sense at all. But that's how I left that. 4, what misconceptions about Crowley would you like to be cleared up the most? The most absurd and vicious slander still reported today is that the false accusation that Crowley advocated and or practiced in human sacrifice. This accusation is totally untrue and is based upon the most ignorant and ill-informed interpretations of some of his most esoteric writings. 5, in your opinion, what was the most widely believed misconception of Aleister Crowley? that he was a Satanist or a black magician. Now, we can argue over terms and things like that, but for a fifth grader, the idea of the fanciful idea of what a Satanist and black magician is not what Thelemites might toy around with words and say, well, yes, absolutely, I'm a Satanist, No, in the mind of the definition of my audience here of those terms make this, at least my opinion of this answer, totally correct. Most widely believed misconception of Aleister Crowley, that he was a Satanist or a black magician. The fact that he developed such a horrible reputation is mostly his own fault. Because many times when he was accused of such things, he didn't bother to deny them, thinking intelligent people would see through such absurdities. Unfortunately, most people weren't, and still aren't, as intelligent or well-informed as he assumed. Number 6, if Aleister Crowley were alive today, how would people view him? Would it be different or close to the same as in the 1800s and at the turn of the 20th century? I believe Crowley was born just about 60 years ahead of his time. Most people today who really do their homework about the man find him brilliant, funny, and profoundly inspiring. If Crowley were alive today, his lifestyle and attitudes would not seem very shocking or controversial. How did you first know about Aleister Crowley? Where and when? I first saw his picture on the covers of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. Later, I was referred to his work in relation to my study of Hebrew mysticism, Hermetic Kabbalah, magic, and tarot. It seemed I saw his name in reference to his work everywhere I turned. Now, I'm fighting off a sneeze here, okay? I don't know if you can see it, but it's raining outside. I'm going to try to take a walk out in it. I think Constance wants me to put on that poncho. So. But anyway, got to go get coffee. Don't worry, I'm about ready to wrap up here. Do you think Aleister Crowley's legacy will ever be forgotten? And if I was really mystical, I'd say, yes, everything will be forgotten. And nothing that will not be remembered. But this is a fifth grader, okay? His name may eventually be forgotten, but I believe the essence of his legacy is a permanent stone in the pyramid of human spiritual evolution. 9. Why do you think some bands have put his writings, pictures, and names in their works? I imagine some do it to be spooky and satanic, but others do it out of genuine respect for this remarkable and historical character, and see the essential freedom of the human soul that Crowley celebrated, reflected in their art. In your opinion, what is the most inspirational book by Aleister Crowley? Are you ready for it? Liber Tzadi, a tiny little book that is published among the holy books of Thelema. I also get endless inspiration from the Book of Thoth, an extended commentary on the tarot, which he wrote toward the very end of his life. And that's the end. There were 10 questions. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My best to you, your parents, and good luck with your class project. I don't know how safe it'll soon be for a teacher to ask for an essay like that, but we'll have to see. And everybody kind of hold on to your hats. If there's a break in the rain, I may get out and take a walk right now and have my coffee when I get back. So until tomorrow and Saturday morning cartoons, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Respect or become a teacher.